I'm Sakura Kono. I got married a few years ago. I live with my husband and my son. Sota, brush your teeth. No! You'll get a cavity. No! My parents lived in the city. They had this nice house with a nice garden. My dad bought it when I was just a kid. My mom, who was a housewife, worked hard every day to keep that place nice and clean. She's been a housewife ever since I can remember. The house was always spotless, and the garden was always full of flowers. The tulips are so pretty. I know, right? But I'm getting too old for this. Here, have some tea. Thanks, Mom. You seem tired. You should get some rest. Thanks, dear, but I'm fine. I loved it there, and it was in the city, so we often had little get-togethers with family and friends. But then, when my mom was 60, my dad passed away. It was really hard on her. She aged very quickly after that. She really loved my dad, so... I'm just always so sleepy these days. You should take it easy. You're not that young anymore. She started forgetting things, too. She didn't talk as much as she used to. I guess it was normal for women her age, but... Still, I was worried about her. Leaving her in this house all by herself like this? We both loved that house, but it was too big for her to manage on her own. So one day I called her and made a suggestion. Hey, Mom, how are you? I'm good, thanks, dear. Sure. Listen, that house of yours, it's pretty big. Maybe too big for you to manage it on your own? Oh, yes, I guess. It is pretty big. Yeah, I'd like to buy it from you if I could, but I already have my own house, so... Maybe I should sell this place and move to a small apartment or something. I'll try and talk to Masafumi about it. Yeah, maybe. I'll ask him this weekend. This weekend, I had plans to go visit my brother, so I decided to talk to him about it. I'll come with you then. This is my house, so... All right, sounds good. After that, I made some small talk with her and hung up. A few days later, at my brother's house... So, yeah, Mom is thinking about selling her house.
No way! You can't sell that place! That's our home!
Huh? Yeah, it's such a nice house! Thank you, dear, but... I get what you're saying, I do.
It's such an amazing house! Don't sell it!
But Mom is getting too old to take care of that place on her own. She can't do everything on her own, you know? If you want to keep that place clean, you gotta help her from time to time.
What? But that house is always clean. I'm sure she'll be fine.
You're not listening to me. She's the one who kept it clean this whole time. Sorry, Masafumi, but I'm getting too old for this. I want to sell the house while it's still in good condition. My mom said to my brother and his wife. This must be really hard for her. Poor Mom. But no matter what she said, they said no. Then, a few days later, they got the other relatives on their side and started harassing my mother, telling her to keep the house. They made it sound like she was only doing this for the money. And they thought I was in on it too or something. After all these years? How could he say that about her? I hated seeing her like this. Mom is the one that kept that house in such good condition. I tried to explain it to them many times, but it was no use. But she's a housewife. That's her job. What's the big deal? Seriously? Anyone can do what she did. Stop making such a big deal out of it. I can probably do it with my eyes closed. I couldn't take it anymore. I finally snapped. You sure about that? Your house is always a mess. That's because we live in a crappy apartment. If we had a nice house like that, things would be different. Fine then. Why don't you guys move into her place? They didn't see that coming. They always had get-togethers at my mom's house that they didn't want to sell it off, but they never thought about living there themselves. But then, they realized it wasn't a bad deal.
All right. Sounds like a plan. We'll move there. It's a deal.
Okay then, you better take good care of that house. Where are you gonna live, though? You're not staying with us. Ugh, she was such a jerk. I hated her. Mom, if it's okay with you, you can live with me. You sure? But what about your husband? I'll talk to him, no worries. I lived in the suburbs, but the house was pretty big, so... And my son loved her, so she decided to move in with me. Sorry, I know it's sudden.
No worries. And I heard about what your brother and his wife said. I can't stand them, to be honest.
And so that was that. Mom was feeling much better after moving in with us. Then, about a year later... Her old house was a mess. My brother and his sister couldn't do anything right. Just as I thought. My brother's wife was a housewife, but she never did anything around the house. The place was falling apart. It made me sad to see my mom's old house like this.
This isn't what I signed up for! The house is a mess! This place sucks!
Yeah, and nothing ever grows in the garden. Is that why you gave us this place? They kept making excuses, but it was an embarrassment. And his kids started acting out. I guess moving to the big city kind of backfired on them. Shut up! I'm staying with my girl! Leave me alone!
Daddy, I want Louis Vuitton for my birthday. Otherwise, I'm running away from home.
What? You're still in middle school! And you're still in elementary! Don't push it!
As for me, my mom turned my house into a palace. I cleaned the house a bit while you were out. Oh, and here, I made some stew. Yay, thanks, Grandma! Oh, Mom, you shouldn't have. I can't help it. This is all I know, so... She was really good at this. I loved having her around. And both my husband and I worked full-time, so she was a lifesaver. It was like having a professional housekeeper. Soon, family and friends started hanging out at our house more often.
Hey, can we go to your house during summer vacation this year?
Huh? But you got such a nice house in the city. What's wrong with your place?
Look, it's a mess, okay? And the house is falling apart.
Well, that's your problem. But it's only for 15 more years or so, so good luck.
Wait, we have to demolish the house in 15 years? You're kidding me, right?
What? No, I thought our lawyer explained this to you. It's all in writing.
Whatever, I don't care. We're going to your house for summer vacation, and that's final!
I don't think so. You two aren't welcome here. Goodbye. He was unbelievable. He never listened to anyone. I didn't have time for this, so I hung up and blocked him.
I need Mom to come back. I can't do this without her.
He learned his lesson the hard way.
Hey, you want to come live with us?
Yeah, we'll take good care of you. Come on, move in with us.
They tried to get her back, but they failed miserably. They're tearing that place down in 15 years, so I don't think so. The house was hers, but the land was a rental. They had to return it to the landlord in 15 years. That's why they were able to build their house in such a great location. I wanted to live there until the end, but oh well. I'm glad your brother agreed to move in there. It was much easier than trying to sell the house. Yeah. That place was a dump now, but I better keep quiet about that. It'll only upset her. My parents knew that they had to demolish the house in the future, so they were saving up accordingly. She had more than enough money to move into a retirement home if she had to. But she kept quiet about it. If my brother found out, he'd definitely try to leech off her, so good call. Wow, Mom and Dad thought of everything. Anyways, just glad that everything worked out.
Thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Bye!